Good morning, Year 2, and today for Wednesday's maths lesson we are going to be looking at solving multiplication sums using something called an array. And this is mainly going to be a practical lesson today, but there are some questions on the slide if you feel you need some questions to answer and to challenge yourself a little bit further. So, we're going to recap what this symbol is first. I want you to pause the video there and tell your grown up at home or write it down the names that we can use for this symbol in maths. Okay, I'm going to give you your answers. So, we can call it a multiplication symbol. We can call it a time symbol. We also use lots of on Monday or Tuesday, depending on what class you were in, to describe this symbol. Now, there are other names that we can use, but we've just been using those at the moment. Okay, so this is what an array is. It can help us to solve multiplication sums if we're unsure of the answer. And they look a little bit like the two pictures on the screen. You can use anything for an array. I'm going to show you how to draw them. And we could also use objects for them as well. And it doesn't matter what objects we use for them. But what do you notice about the arrays? Something that I notice is that they're all in equal groups and they're all laid out nice and neatly in rows or in lines. And that's really important for arrays. We're going to keep that in our heads. Okay, so here's how we use them. When we've got a multiplication sum, like the one at the top, we've got 2 times 4. Now the first number tells us how many groups to draw, and that's 2. So I've written 1 and 2 down the side to help me remember the amount of groups that I need. And the second number tells us how many are in each group, and that's 4. So I've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4 counters in one group, 1, 2, 3, 4 counters in the next group. Now if we want to solve the answer, all we need to do is count them up all together. So should we do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my answer is 8. And here are my 2 groups of 4. We've got 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that for a second, because this array also shows a different multiplication sum using the same 2 numbers we've got up here. And I'm going to show you why now. So we've got our 2 groups here, but if we flip this multiplication sum around, if I said 4 times 2, I am going to show how this array shows this multiplication sum as well. If we look at it going down. So here we've got 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. So I'm going to write the numbers at the top to remind me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here are my 4 groups. We're going this way this time. Should we circle them to help us? So we've got 1 group here. We've got another group here. Here are 4 groups. So remember, the first number always tells us how many groups we need. And how many have we got in each group? We've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 in each group. Should we figure out what the answer is? So we knew the first answer was the number 8. Let's see what the answer is this time. We're just going to count the counters all together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So they both equal the same answer. All we've done is we flip the numbers round and we can use the array in 2 different ways. And we're going to have another go at one of these now. We have got 3 times 4. So I know I need 3 groups. So let's draw our numbers down the side. So the first number, remember, always tells us how many groups, and that's how many groups we've got down the side. The second number tells me how many I need in each group, and that's 4. So we're going to have a go at drawing 4 in each group. Okay, so I've got 4 in each of my 3 groups. I've got one group here, one group here, and one group here. So all we need to do now is count up the circles to find our answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our answer is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. But what if we switch the numbers around? If we had 4 times 3, how would that be shown on this array? We've got our 3 groups here, like I've just shown you. 4 times 3. Remember the first one that we looked at? We went from the top this time. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 groups, and here's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 in each. Should we count them up and see how many circles we've got this time? What's the answer to 4 times 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we've got the same answer. But if this was our first sum, 4 times 3, remember the first number tells us how many groups, so you might draw it like this. And both arrays give you the same answer. So there's our 4 groups, and we need 3 in each. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got 12 in all together in our groups. Now I'm going to skip this one, and we're going to do one all together. So I want you to get your pieces of paper and your pens at the ready. So here we've got 2 times 7. So how many groups do we need? First of all, we need 2, that's right. So we're going to write 2 groups down the side. And how many do we need in each group? Have a look at the sum. What's our second number? That's right, we need 7 in each group. So we're going to draw 7 circles in each of our groups now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember, we need to do the same for the bottom group. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, count up all of the circles. What is your answer to 2 times 7? If you got 14, you are correct. Well done, brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to reveal what's underneath our square now. Oh, okay, so what other time sum does this array show? So we've got our 2 groups going this way, but how many groups of 2 have we got going down? Let's see. Let's put our numbers at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 groups along the top. And how many counters do we have in each group? That's right, we've got 2. So our first number is 7. We've got 7 groups. 7 times 2, because we've got 2 circles in each of our groups. 7 lots of 2. Should we count them up again and see if the answer is 14 like the first sum? You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 2 times 7 is the same as 7 times 2. I'm going to skip this one, and I want you to have a go now. Try and have a go on your own. Only for the sum, 3 times 6. And you can pause the video there, have a go on your piece of paper with your grown-up, and Miss Burt is going to go through the answers now. So we've got 3 times 6. So we know for just this sum, we need 3 groups because that is our first number. So 1, 2, 3. Now the second number tells us how many we need, and we need 6 in each group. So I'm going to draw 6 in each group. Once we've drawn those, we can count the circles up and see what our answer is. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So our answer is 18. Okay. Now you're going to have another go now. Here's another you do. 4 times 10 this time. So how many do you need in each group? Sorry, how many groups do you need? That's the first number. And how many do you need in each group? Pause the video now. Have a little go on your paper. Okay, and now I'm going to go through this last question now before you have a go. You go back to the slide and have a go at the questions on there. You're going to have lots of practice today. So, that's right. This first number tells us how many groups we need, and we need 4. So I'm going to draw my 4 groups down the side. Oh, let's get rid of that bit. 3 and 4. Okay. Now we need 10 in each group, don't we? Because that's our second number. So we need 10 circles in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, to solve the answer for this one, we know that there are 10 in each group already. So instead of counting them individually, we could count up in tens. So let's do that together. 10, 20, 30, 40. So our answer is 40. Now, before we stop, I'm going to give you a little challenge. What other times sum could this ratio? Remember, count how many groups you've got along the top, how many you've got on each group, and write it down. Okay, so the answer is, well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we've got 10 groups, And how many have we got in each? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 10 groups, so that's our first number. 10 times 4, because we've got 4 in each of our groups. And that would equal 40 as well. Okay, we're going to go back to the slide after this video, and there are lots of times number sentences for you to have a go at. You don't have to do the questions if you feel like you just want to practice the skill today, because this is something new, so it will take a little bit of time to get used to. If you've got any questions, and just pop them on Seesaw for me and Mrs. Parsons to have a look at. So that is your final activity for today.